have been assigned to the specific agenda items, and the commission will take them in the order they are listed. Discussion and action items may be taken up at any time. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending provisions of the open meeting law, we are conducting this meeting online. The commission welcomes participation in the meeting by the applicants and general public. Attending the meeting tonight are the 7 Conservation Commission members: Eric Foley, Margaret Reela, Jim Gozzo, Ann Jeffries, Marilyn Frank, Noel Donovan, and Peter Mahler. And I believe everyone's back. Noel, you back? Yes?
Yes.
Eric? Margaret?
Yes.
Marilyn? Ann?
Yes.
And Jim? Jim back? I don't have Jim back yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this meeting is being recorded by Westford Cable Access TV. We respectfully ask that everyone mute their computer microphones and phones when they are not used to avoid unnecessary noise during the meeting. This is an open meeting, so for all panelists who have access to the chat panel, please only use chat for technical issues related to the video conferencing. The commission will proceed by opening the agenda items, having the applicant or the representative present the project, or if previously opened in a public meeting, they will summary of the project. The commission and staff will follow the questions, and then we open up to public for questions and comments. At this point, if you wish to participate, you'll raise your hand and your microphone will be unmuted for you to participate. Due to the limitations of the platform, attendees that are accessing the meeting via the telephone number at the top of the agenda will only be able to listen to the proceedings and will not be able to contribute. Please access the video conference via the link on the agenda, even if you do not have a webcam to participate. Okay, so we're going to go to open forum. Anybody from the commission have anything on open forum? Carol, do you have anything?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the commission, I've had some neighbors of Skating House Pond tell me that with the low water, they've been observing the dam that is kind of between a conservation restricted open space and the town land has been leaking out of the bottom of the dam. And I was trying to determine whether it was ever really confirmed whether that dam is located on town property, or how the commission might have been initially involved with the construction of that dam and whether we do have some responsibility for repair. I didn't know if anybody remembers. I think it was around 2006 that Bill Turner did a request for determination, and some of the neighbors all helped out building it. And then more recently in 2016, we had some discussion because a neighbor was concerned because beaver had blocked up the dam, and they were and it was flooding high, so high she was concerned for her well. And I think the neighbors brought it up at that time too, but because the water levels were high, it wasn't as much of an issue. Anyway, I guess I was looking for some feedback if anyone remembered whether the town did have a responsibility or role in ownership of that. And I guess I would say, I think Margaret and Eric were the 2 members on the form that was signed.
I don't remember.
Okay.
No, I don't either.
Okay. I'll work with the neighbors to see what they, to look at it and see what the problem might be, and and try to figure out, what the responsibility might be.
Okay.
And then the only other quick thing I just wanted to also mention, we did do a visit to East Boston camps with one camp that was interested in bidding on the request for proposal we put out. We just the other day, yesterday, I guess, got another request from someone who either had just learned about it and was asking for us to potentially extend the time period. So since we really only had one group interested, we're going to plan to extend that. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
That's it.
Any items from the audience on open forum? You can raise your hand if you have something. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is for Bentley Building Corp., 35 East Stony Brook Road. This is an IDA. This is a legal notice under Massachusetts non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171. Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, October 28th at 7:30 p.m. via remote participation to consider request for determination of applicability filed for the Bentley Building Corp. for the extension of an existing deck and relocation of an existing fence within 100 feet of a jurisdictional wetland at 35 East Stony Brook Road, Assessors Map 32, Parcel 44. Okay. Who's here for this?
Hi, good evening, Matt
Matt?
Waterman with
Okay.
Land Tech Consultants. My name is Matt Stengel on the video screen. I stole his panelist invite.
Okay.
Here representing Bentley Building Corp. Most of the commission members should be familiar with this lot. It's directly adjacent to a lot that we just permitted that's currently under construction that has access off of Lowell Road. This is a 2.8 acre parcel that has frontage on Lowell Road, but the driveway is accessed off of Stony Brook Road, hence the 35E Stony Brook Road. There was about 5 lots that share a common drive. They all have frontage on Lowell Road, but the common driveway comes in off of Stony Brook Road. So it's 35A, B, C, D, and E. It's relatively straightforward. It's the wetlands that we're encroaching on for the work is a small isolated wetland that's shown on the plan view on your screen. You can see the proposed driveway just to the east of that, or if you're looking up on our plan, the driveway for the adjacent lot that's under construction. But this house sits towards the middle of the screen on the plan view, and the deck is off the back of the house, and you can see the pool a little further closer to Lowell Road if you were to walk out the house and kind of walk down the hill towards Lowell Road. We're proposing to actually demolish an existing deck, replace it with a porch, a screened-in porch of the same size, and then proposed new deck that's 16 by 14. So it would be a proposed porch that's 22 by 14 and a deck that's 16 by 14. All work is directly adjacent to the house. It's on an existing lawn area. We're not regrading that area or that site. We did go with the site walk with Carol and walked behind the house. The fence portion of the work, currently the fence wraps around the pool and connects to the house on each end. And what they want to do is kind of wrap the fence so that it just circles the pool and doesn't connect to the house, so that the pool enclosure, so you'll be able to walk out the deck into the backyard, and then you still won't have access to the pool unless you go through a gate. So it was just, I think, a little more kid-friendly, where if they're leaving the house and they can monitor them, I think it's a little easier to monitor them. The distance off the wetland, currently the deck is 87 feet, and we're proposing with the new shifting of the deck and the expansion of the deck, it would be reduced down to 71 feet. But again, that's all within an existing lawn area. I do have Mark White. I know he's on the meeting. I don't see his video feed, but I know he is logged in, and either one of us can answer any questions.
Questions from the commission on this?
I got no questions,
Pretty
Peter.
straightforward. Margaret?
Yeah, Matt, roof runoff from the screened porch. I'm assuming screened porch, it has a roof.
It does, yes.
Um,
We don't have anything planned for it. I could ask Mark if he's willing to put stone underneath the deck or something to help promote runoff below the deck, or below the porch, excuse me.
All right, so infiltration in place.
Correct. That's what I was thinking, just to answer your question quickly, but
Mark, you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you can? Okay, great. Yeah, so the water would just come off the existing roof, so you really wouldn't be getting a lot of additional runoff. but we could put a stone wick down there if that's what you desired. There's already stone under the deck that's going to absorb most of the runoff.
So it would be very much similar to what's coming off the house today?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still
Mark, can I
71
just
feet
add
away.
something?
Yeah, it's a long ways away.
Between the house is the pool and the concrete. And so in terms of infiltration, there's gonna be some, there's some grass before it gets to the pool. But with the distance, I don't think you're gonna have any erosion issues because there's a hardscape area kind of in between.
Cool.
Okay, any other comments from the commission? Any comments from the audience on this application? Yeah, I don't see any. So can I have a motion for a negative determination?
A negative or conditional?
Conditional negative, right, I'm sorry. Marilyn, do I have a second?
Second,
Okay, all in favor, Eric,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Jim? Marilyn? Noel?
Yes.
Peter, yes. Ann, did I get you? Ann?
Yes.
No, Jim? No, Jim. Okay, we're good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Rick.
you.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
All in favor, Eric,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ian.
Yes.
Okay, great. We don't seem to have Jim.
He's there. I can see
Is he
him.
there?
Yep.
Is he muted? Oh, no,
He's,
there's
he
something
did
funny
raise
with
his
it.
hand on the last vote.
Yeah, he's muted, I think.
Says no.
Oh, he's on the phone. He's got to put in his PIN number. He's on the phone. Jim, if you can hear me, put the PIN number in for the phone.
Or just hit the hashtag.
But then you might want to log out and log back in.
Okay, he logged out. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next agenda item, which is Keith, 34 Flag Road. This is also an IDA. This is a legal notice under Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, chapter 171. The Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, October 28th, 2020 at 7:30 PM via remote participation to consider request for determination of applicability filed by the Brian and Paula Keefe for the construction of a pool and 4-foot chain link fence enclosure with 100 feet of a jurisdictional wetland at 34 Flag Road, Sepsis map, parcel 76. Oh, yeah, the Keefe's there?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So just explain to us what you want to do.
Okay, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Brian Keefe. My wife Paula Keefe is here with me, a little off camera. We live at 34 Flag Road, and what we'd like to do is put in a in-ground pool in the backyard. And I'd just go on to explain what our proposal is, if that's
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
We'd like to propose an installation of a 36 by 18 gunite pool. And the gunite pool is going to have a 4-foot apron going around the pool. It's going to be like a kidney-shaped pool. It's from the edge of the apron. We're approximately 80 feet from the wetlands. What we'd like to do is we're going to install a silt fence with the straw wattles as well to protect the area. And that's actually going to be at the edge of the excavation site. The trucks will be coming in. If you look at the map of the house off of Flag Road, our driveway is off of Flag Road. to the very left of the garage. Trucks will be coming in and out of that area only. Any material that's dug up is going to be removed, and they'll be exiting the same way they come in. After it's done, we're going to install a 4-foot chain link fence around that area as well.
Okay. Do we know what the closest distance to the wetland it is from the new work?
Yes, the closest is 80 feet, sir, right from the edge of the apron of the pool to the
Yep.
edge of the wetlands.
What
Is
about the
80
chain
feet,
link
okay.
fence?
Excuse me, sir?
What about the chain link fence, the distance from the wetlands to the chain link fence? Because it's got to be closer than your pool.
Yes, it is going to be closer. That can be moved right up to the edge of the apron as well.
Well, you want to give yourself a little room. I'm just saying, you know. I
What
think
do
he's
you-
got plenty of distance, Peter. I don't want him
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he's got plenty of room.
to have his chain link fence right up against his pool.
Right.
He does.
He can move it back.
And he's gonna have the 4-foot apron around the pool and then the fence directly adjacent to the apron. So it's
Okay.
not adjacent, the fence is not right up against the pool.
Okay.
Okay, so he's got 4 feet. Okay,
And it's very flat on its way out to the wetland. There's a stone wall in between, and it was very naturalized beyond the yard where the pool, the section of the yard that they're gonna put the pool in. So there's a good buffer in between.
This looks
okay.
good.
Yep, looks good. Any other questions from the commission? Okay, if not, any questions from the audience? I don't see any. So can I have a motion for a conditional negative?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor? Eric,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jim, are you there? Well, I did see him. Yeah, Ian,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Peter, yes. Jim's still not, we still don't have audio for Jim. Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor? Eric,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Peter, yes. Okay, you're all set.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
luck.
you.
Have a good night.
Yep. Oh, no, Jim. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next agenda item, which is for Humphreys, 26 Marin Ave. Full file number on that. This is a legal notice under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Wetlands Non-Zoning Wet, Chapter 171. The Westford Constitution a public hearing on Wednesday, October 28th, 2020 at 7:30 PM via remote participation on the notice of intent application of Philip and Lisa Humphreys. After the fact approval for the removal of an asphalt paved area and installation of a permeable paver patio and landscape improvements within 100 feet of a jurisdictional wetland at 26 Burn Ave, assessors map 78, parcel 79. Okay, are the Humphreys there or representative?
Yes, this is Philip Humphreys. My wife Lisa is here with me.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is after the fact, so you just want to tell us what you did?
Well, so the removal is after the fact. We have not instigated the new stuff.
So
So
you have, okay, so you just pulled up the asphalt then?
correct. So there you go. So you see the diagram there. This is
Yep.
we put together.
Okay,
So the existing asphalt area there, which is 9 feet by approximately 30 feet, that was removed and that's being cleared from the site. That was deteriorating. It was there was a lot of standing water at the back of the house and stuff. So that's now being cleared away. And what we're looking to do is to replace that plus an additional area that was. I would not use the word lawn. It was basically weeds. But due to the shade trees that we have, there was nothing growing there. So we're looking to extend install a paved area with permeable pavers, so that will, address any runoff concerns. As you can see, we are pretty close to the lake there. There's a 6-foot setback from the lake. We call it a concrete dock, a concrete landing area. But there is an existing granite stone retaining wall that elevates the area that we're going to be working on. So the reality is there would not be any likely runoff from the work that's going on at the moment. It is all well contained within that retaining wall. So, if you have any questions?
So how
So it
high
seems-
is the retaining wall?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
How high is that retaining wall?
Approximately 2.5 feet.
Okay.
So do you know the square footage of the pervious surface? You have these permeable pavers. I see the areas where you want to put in new permeable paver, and that area is currently, let's just say it's weeds or grass or lawn or what have you. Do you know what that square footage is?
I can quickly calculate it approximately. Just bear with me. So it's from this. So approximately 250 square feet. Some of that has flagging on there right now, so I would say round it down maybe to about 200, which is true lawn dirt at the moment.
I mean, Peter, it just looks like we're taking whatever lawn area is left and we're just trading it out for permeable pavers.
Yeah, correct.
And,
So, yeah.
personally, I think it's a little too aggressive.
It's a lot of
I
additional
mean,
space.
Yeah.
It is, but it has a lot to do with the way that the traffic flows through the backyard to get to that existing, concrete dock area. It gets trampled a lot, so it ends up muddy. Like Phil said, we have a huge maple tree back there, and it creates a lot of shade, which is lovely to sit under, but it doesn't keep things growing very well. To have an actual lawn there, we would have to use, weed killers and things to promote the growth of the lawn itself, which, we don't want to do because of potential runoff into the lake.
Well, we're not necessarily saying it needs to be lawn, but usually a buffer zone we try to leave buffers. I just don't see much, if any, naturalized buffer here. And a lot of those buffers, we don't expect to have intense use and to be walked on and to be trampled on. So I'm just trying to see what, if any, buffer we can get here, Peter.
Yeah, what's on the other side of the wall between the retaining wall and the lake? Is that
a concrete.
naturalized?
No, it's concrete. It's cast concrete.
It's all concrete.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's been existing there forever.
Yeah.
Been there a long time.
Carol, have you been out there to look at this?
Yes. So, if you were on, there's two sides of the house. On the right-hand side, which I guess is the north side, it's a grass strip. I don't know, Phil, you can say if it's can't be too much more than 10 or 15 feet wide. Would you say about that?
The bike shed plus 9 feet.
Yeah, so about 12 feet wide.
Yeah. And then the other side, as you came down to the bottom, it was already paved. And I can't remember so like under your trellis, was that still paved?
So there is a paved walkway all the way down there, but it does have flower beds on each side of that.
Yeah, so there's a paved walkway, and then you come around and it was paved except for this strip, so what did you say on your plan? I can't read it, like 12 feet on that section?
On the darker area.
Yeah, so it was similar to what's there, showing 4 feet. There was probably a 4-foot strip of not really bare ground, but you had some stockpile on it, so I really didn't see it too much beforehand. But that's the section I think you wanted to expand the pavers in. And I think, so yes, I get what the commission's saying is that they try to have more of a natural buffer there. And while it may not be a lawn, there may be shade vegetation, that could grow there. Or you could plant something that would be, bushes or some low growing bushes or something that would provide a little more natural vegetation between that and the other part of the pavers.
Matt, can you put up one of those photos? Can you put up photo 7?
Oh, that trellis is no longer there, and that's kind of some of the tear up that you saw. That's been removed. But the area on the left there, that will stay grass, and it's the area on the right side of that trellis that actually is stone around the tree, and so it's.
Well, you say it's a raised bed with pebble like mulch.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the area that you're talking about, Eric, where you'd like to see maybe some more vegetation rather than it being all pavers.
Exactly.
You could, maybe photo 6 maybe give you a better insight as you look down there. So that's coming, like, looking obviously towards the lake, as you can see, and where we've got those pots that we were painting at the time, that's we intend to retain as a planting area into that area. But to the left, where we can see the table now, our desire is to have that as a seating area, and that's part of the challenge here. Is the 9-foot space at the back of the property, it's not enough space to really set out chairs and table. The 6-foot dock that we have, again, is not enough space to set out. It's kind of like a little dining area, and our hope was to use what we have there, what we set up there as a dining area, and to be able to have an area to sit there. That was our objective.
The problem here is, even when you've got the permeable pavers, you're still going to get sheet flow going down off there if it rains hard enough. And it's going to just run down there and go over the retaining wall into the lake. That's definitely a concern.
Noel, you had a question.
Yeah, I also agree with Eric. I think that's a little aggressive. I'd like to see more vegetation back there. I was also wondering about photo 7. Am I echoing?
No, you're all right. You're good.
Photo number 7. Do you normally store your gas right there, that close to the water?
No, that was actually left behind by the previous owners. These pictures were taken not long after we'd moved in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I was just, they were just being they're stored inside the shed.
Okay. That was all.
Well, I guess we really want to see some kind of buffer there, along the edge of that retaining wall.
So
whether it's it's going to be some kind of something to have a buffer there between all the pavers in the lake. I mean, we generally don't like to see the pavers going right up to the edge of and essentially it's the lake, because it's all concrete on the other side.
Peter,
We typically require a buffer.
For a minimum of a 4-foot buffer on the lake.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a lot of these lakefronts are very tight, but I know that some of the permits that you've done in the past have had that kind of minimum.
okay. So if we could take us back to the diagram and just make sure we're same. So I think if I understand what you're saying, is on where that 14-foot dimension is written down there, looking to
So you have 12 feet. We want to reduce that to 8 feet, so you have a 4-foot buffer between the end of the new pavers and that retaining wall.
And that you would be contented that was just a like a planting area with like a gravel mulch in there with shrubs, that type of idea.
Yep.
Well, it's not supposed to be maintained, so not
Yeah.
mulch and not, think of like a low ground cover or something that you're not going to be maintaining. But we're not looking for, plantings and mulch and that, we're looking for, a natural buffer.
Okay.
There's
one
plenty of
specific-
types of ground cover. If it's shady there, there's still ground covers you can plant there that will grow there.
Okay, no, understood. And then just one request: is it acceptable to break up that along the walls so that we can have a little path through? To we got a little step that goes down off that retaining wall. We'd like to have continue the pavers through just for a walkway.
I guess you'd have to show it to us, Peter.
Yeah, you'd have to, yeah. You're gonna have to come back to our next meeting, so you're gonna have to redo your diagram. So redo your diagram and show us what you want for
That pathway.
No, well, there is that pathway there, and that's again, those steps are cast, so that's kind of existing. What I was looking for was in that area where we're talking about putting in the ground cover. The thing is just to, that 14 feet to put in a 3 foot wide area of pavers just to connect through to the retaining wall, so that we have a clear way to walk through that. So nothing fancy.
So show us on the plan where you want to put it.
Well,
hang
I think that,
So about
So don't you have that path, that walkway, the steps already? I'm not quite sure. You're saying there's another step that's off the retaining wall?
yes, there's a second way down. And again, if you're looking at you see the doorway there out the house. That's it gives you a more natural flow down into the lake area than the other way.
So if you think you have a more natural flow by putting in new pavers down to the wall, any thoughts about removing the other one, which you don't think is so accommodating?
I hadn't specifically thought about it. I mean, right now it
all you're doing is adding pavers and basically, whether they're pervious or not, it's basically impervious. So if you're looking for another access down to the water, I would say if you already have an access, you're asking for a secondary. I think what we're saying is maybe if you want to move your access location, that's okay. But to put in a secondary while you already have a primary is probably something that, we're having difficulty with.
Okay, well, we'll withdraw that request and make that a continuous area and keep the primary way down to the dock as is.
Okay, so when you come back at our next meeting, you need to redo this diagram and show us with the buffer area on your plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just ask, our next meeting is next Wednesday, so we're kind of tight, like you wouldn't get it in your packet. Would you consider making it a condition that they need to provide you with a buffer strip? That's a native natural, we've done that in other orders.
That would work.
Yeah, and the plan needs to be revised to show the area.
That would work.
And I know, Peter, I don't know if you saw, but Jim had his hand raised a couple times. I don't know if you got his question out.
Can we hear him, Jim? You there?
I am here, but I don't have a question now.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we need to continue this to our next meeting, which is November. Do I have it on here, Carol?
November 4th.
November 4th.
Oh, God.
Can I have a motion to continue this to November 4th?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor? Eric?
yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Ian?
yes.
Well?
Yes.
And Jim?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll see you in a week.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is a continuation of a public hearing and issue order of conditions for Adams, 330 Groton Road, 334-1756. So are we all set with this?
I have no trouble.
Ian's on here, so let's see if he had any comments or questions.
Okay,
No, the last meeting you had asked me some questions that I didn't have the answer to, so I had to consult with the contractor, and he wrote the answers up,
Mhm.
and I
Yep.
provided that. And Carol was here for a site visit, so I don't have any other questions. I think all the questions were answered unless you guys have others.
The orders are
Nope.
fine.
have you gone over the order of conditions? Are you okay with them?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any questions from the audience? Not seeing any. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the order of conditions?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, Eric,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Motion to close the public hearing,
So moved.
Second,
Eric,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
and Jim.
Yes.
Yes, Peter, yes. Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good night.
Night.
Okay, we're going to go to our next agenda item, which is a continuation of a public hearing for Pickett, 60 Lakeshore Drive South, RDA, and issue an enforcement order. So, Mr. Pickett, are you there?
I'm not seeing him on here.
Yeah.
He's,
We did have some communication
Yes.
with him today. He sent us some photos.
Carol, he is
Have you
here.
seen him?
He is here,
Yeah,
Carol.
he's listed as fellow investor for,
Oh, okay, all right.
but I recognize the email address.
Sorry about that.
I see.
So, oh, yeah. Do you? Oh, okay.
I
Okay,
I
Mr.
can't
Pickett, you
see.
there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
We can.
So we have to decide if we're going to issue this order. Did we get the information, Carol, on we asked about the matting?
Yes, he just sent us over some stuff today from work, information he was able to research.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening. At the last hearing, I was asked to research geotextiles to
Yep.
address the erosion of the slope on my property there that abuts Nab Lake. And yesterday, Carol also sent the draft enforcement order, and we both found in our research the same material, coir blankets or mats that appear to be suitable for this part of the project. And I've contacted several of the, having read the order, I've already contacted several vendors and consultants about these specific details.
Okay. So, any other questions on the process?
Do I have any questions? I don't have any questions about the installation. The order does mention overseeding with loam and winter rye from New England wetlands plants, a soil stabilization mix. And I was able at least to email them to try to find out about this product. One of the vendors also has a heavy-duty coir mat, which he suggested was a good idea for this, the angle of this slope, which is, it's pretty steep. It's maybe 75 degrees, maybe. And as those pictures show, sometimes the weaves of these quarry mats are more open than others. He was suggesting something that's called a 100 gram per meter mat, which is very effective in holding back erosion. And the trade-off is that the planting is on the top because it lets so little light through. And the picture I have there is just a simulation of a mat, but apparently it would be a tight weave, and the mix would be put on top. I suppose it can be terraced somewhat so that the soil stays in place.
Okay, questions from the commission on the, on this?
No.
No, okay. Noel?
Noel?
Quick, do we have a picture of the new retaining wall that they built along the water there?
It was in your last packet. I don't know if we have it handy.
Okay.
Part of the draft order addresses a subsequent order of notice of intent, and I was just dealing with this. These first three points here deal with this staircase project, the stairway, and the small area for erosion control.
Yeah, so Noel, what's going to happen here is we're going to approve the RDA so we can do the stairs along with the mat, and we're going to issue the enforcement order. And then he's going to have to refile and decide what we're going to do with the lakefront area.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the, let's do the enforcement order first. Can I have a motion to approve the enforcement order?
Second.
All in favor, Eric?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Maryland?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Peter, yes. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the a conditional negative on the RDA?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Eric?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Maryland?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Peter, yes. A motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Eric?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Maryland? Ian?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Okay, we're all set for now.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go right ahead.
After the permit for the stairs is obtained, who does the inspection? I assume
Carol will.
the building department for the stairs, but what about the hillside? Is that going to be?
Carol will follow up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you all for your guidance and sharing the resources.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Okay, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is a continuation of a public hearing for KMI Real Estate, 19 Hartford Road, and they have requested to continue this without discussion to November 4th. So can I have a motion to that effect?
And while you're doing that, can I just add, on at least under scheduled site visits, we want to talk about a site visit to that property. Okay.
Yep, we will. Okay, all in favor of continuing this? Eric?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
and Jim,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, we're going to move on to our first discussion item, which is a request from the Friends of EBC for a small front kiosk to hold brochures. Someone here from the Friends?
I believe I've unmuted you. Can you hear me now?
Kim?
Yes.
Can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is Marcia. I'm on Friends of the East Boston Camps Board, and we are interested in putting together a brochure that will go in the kiosk, which is close to the depot entrance, and it would be similar to what is already in place at the Stone Arch Bridge. If you're able to see this,
Yeah.
it's a black mailbox, and it's a very simple mailbox, and if you open it up, it gives you a map of the Stone Arch trail routes. And what the Friends would like to do is to do a similar thing where we put a mailbox in the kiosk, and we would have one side a map of the routes around East Boston camps, and the other side would be information about the Friends, if people are interested in learning more about us and would like to join. And so this is the kiosk currently, if you're able to see it, at East Boston camps. It has a little more information because it includes the beach regulations. It has information about ticks and things like that. But it would just be a simple black box that would go there. And then I think I gave you, Carol, the two sides, which would be have one side is the map and the other side information about the Friends. And I think it would be a wonderful way to get out. I noticed I walk in there every day, once or twice a day, and there are certainly new faces since COVID has happened, and I think it would be a great opportunity to get the Friends out there and let them know about us.
So Marcia, I don't think we could see the picture of the Stone Arch Bridge kiosk, but I also, there is currently a black box on the kiosk down at the Depot Street side that doesn't seem to have anything in it.
Right, it's on the side. So I could try to work with that if you can make sure it has a cover for rain. I could use that and put the maps in there.
Yeah, I think it was under the cover as well, but we could look at that.
Yep. That would be fine.
Everybody okay with this? Noel?
Is all the information in the brochure already on the kiosk that's there at the camp?
The map is there, although I'm not sure the map has all of the new trail names, including there's a George Fletcher trail, so I need to double check some of that. And then currently up on the kiosk, I would not say is as much information about the Friends. So one side of this sheet would have information about the mission of the Friends, about how to join the Friends, about how if they're interested in buying a brick, how that would happen. And it would give our email address. That would be there also.
Okay, I think I'd be more interested to have that information on the kiosk that's already there instead of creating more waste with, that paper and replacing it all. I just feel like that's going to end up with a lot of waste, and I think all that information could be put on the existing kiosk that's already there.
So I've noticed walking at the Stone Arch Bridge every day that I was there this past week, and they have maps in there. And walking the trails, I did not see one map on the ground. The advantage of having the map is as you're walking around and encountering different trails, you can look and see where you are. And also it's taking home the information about Friends so they have it to discuss with someone or to physically look at. So I would be curious to try, say, one batch and see what happens.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. You guys want a motion to approve this?
Jim's got his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim, I can't see you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm kind of in line with Noel. I'd rather not have another pile of paper that has to be constantly replenished. And I understand this advertises both the Friends as well as provides mapping information, but why couldn't it be like a quick read code or something that people with a cell phone can either snap the code and get a map just like that, or go to a website that's listed on the kiosk already without a piece of paper that anybody has to print and replenish and pick up and lose. There were some paper flyers that were put in across from the Williams Avenue beach, and currently they're okay. But when they were first put in there, all of them got taken or dumped on the ground, and it wasn't a good idea. I'd rather have it not be something that people have to pick up and reprint and refill, and just have it as a website.
Marilyn?
I'd like, I see how many people come to town hall to buy the trail maps, and how interested really that people are now to do the walking, since they're limited in so many things that they can't do. I would like to do it on a trial period. Do it for a month or two and then come back and report on it. If we see that it's a nuisance, it's something we don't continue. If we see that it's taken away and that perhaps people are using it, then it's a good use. I would like to not shut it down, just summarily right now. I'd give it a shot for a month or two and then revisit the area.
Any other comments?
I'm inclined to go along with Marilyn, although I appreciate both what Noel and Jim said.
No, but we can check it.
Yeah, I think that the waste that I'm talking about is like the amount of energy that it takes to produce something like that is something that I can't go along with. Where, when I go to a new trail, what I end up doing is I take a picture on my phone of the map, and that way I have it with me, and that way I have it when I go home. And maybe putting something up on the kiosk that says, take a picture of the map, or take a picture of the East Boston Camps, the Friends of East Boston Camps website, or something like that. But the energy that it takes to produce a brochure is, I don't think it's very eco-friendly.
Margaret?
I'm with Marilyn in terms of giving it a try, because not everybody's using cell phones. Not everybody's got a camera phone. I'd kind of like to try this other approach and see if it, is so that we're making this available to people that use a variety of methods of kind of connecting with the information that the town provides. I like the idea of giving it a pilot and see how it works.
Give it 2 months.
Ann?
I agree. I like to carry a map around with me. I'm old fashioned, but at least give it a try and see how it works. If there's papers all over, then I agree, then, go to the other methods. But in the beginning, at least let's just try it out with this approach.
Okay, so someone needs to make a motion.
You have to recuse yourself.
Make the motion, Marilyn.
Okay, I make a motion that we allow this for 2 months and reassess it at the end of the 2 months to see the value and to see whether or not there are any issues pertaining to it.
Can I just throw in, it probably won't be immediate because she's still working on the map and finalizing stuff.
Okay, so from the inception, give it a 2-month trial.
That
I'll
sounds
second it.
Peter's frozen.
Oh yeah, he is frozen.
Lockjaw.
Eric, can you follow the vote up then?
Yes, I had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Margaret?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Noel?
No.
Okay. Ann, did I get you?
No, yeah, I'm in favor.
Okay, Peter? No, Jim?
No.
1, 2, so I got 4, 4, two not in favor. I'm thinking Peter's in favor. So,
4-2 still carries.
4 is a quorum, so
Yeah,
you
it
have
passes.
a majority.
yeah, we have a majority.
Without Peter. Okay,
Yep. Thank you very much.
So I'm sorry, it's in favor?
yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Carol, Carol, can you follow up so she's clear on it being 2 months from the inception?
Yeah, I
Yes.
have her email. I'll follow up.
Perfect, thank you. Do we lose Peter?
I think so. We need to move on to our next discussion item then, which would be the Grassy Pond Life Course and Improvements. Anything you want to say in regards to that, Carol?
Well, Karen Ames is on. I think she just has to unmute herself. Yeah, there she goes. So she can tell you what she's thinking. You did receive her email as well as several
And
other
a
ones
few
in
others.
support, and then there were 2 more today that came in that I wasn't able to get out to you yet.
Okay. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, thanks for having me. And I apologize if it was too many emails. People started telling other people who started sending emails and it became a thing. But yeah, the life course at Grassy Pond, I feel, is a real potential fantastic resource for the community, for families, for people looking to get outdoor exercise. It's great for all ages. Unfortunately, a lot of it is currently unusable. I would love to see that repaired or replaced. I'm happy to apply for CPC funds if that would be useful, or if there's another avenue that would be better. I'm, open to that, and I'm happy to do whatever work you would need to make this forward.
What do the commission members think about this? Marilyn?
Okay, Karen, you and I had a little bit of correspondence through email. Did you contact Jesse as I suggested to find out the application? So you would actually need to do some research to find out, perhaps, I don't know, would it be appropriate to work with Parks and Rec? Who would be the proper person for her to get information from as to what the original piece was like to replace the different pieces of equipment? Who would be the proper person? Anybody?
Can I just ask if Peter's live again? Are you live there, Peter?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things going on here. First of all, I've been in contact with the Rotary Club of Westford, and they're going to be putting in a grant in the spring to fund this. And that's the potential source. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. It's what they call a district grants, and the Rotary Club is part of a district, and every year they feed back to the individual Rotary Clubs money to do local projects, and it's usually in the amount between $5,000 and $7,000. So I talked to Patty Mason, and Patty told me that they would plan on putting the grant application in for this. But I also have been looking at replacement pieces for this course, and they're actually, if you buy them, they're actually quite expensive. So individual pieces of equipment, if you wanted to put something in, like if you wanted to replace the jungle bars or something like that, it can go anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000. So what probably needs to happen here is someone needs to put a plan together of what they want to put in to replace the current stations, and then we could come up with a total cost, and either try to get it through CPA, through rec. Marilyn's correct. This would probably qualify as recreation, and in addition to the Rotary funds. So there's a little bit of background work that's going to be done.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of that because I'm a nerd.
Okay.
There's a company called fittrail.com. You can buy a complete station, 10 station kit for $6,250 plus shipping and handling, or a 20 station for $9,450 plus shipping and handling. Another option, I've spoken with some Cub Scout leaders, Eagle Scout leaders, and they estimate that if we get Eagle Scouts to do the work and sort of make a plan and figure out what materials we need, we could do it for a couple thousand. But then I know there's issues around potential current building codes, handicapped accessibility, etc.
Part of the problem with the Boy Scouts is we've been trying to get them to do an Eagle Scout project on this for years. And yeah,
Doesn't work.
so I don't know if the Scouts are going to be the people who put the labor into this.
Gotcha.
It's more than likely that we're going to have to get volunteers to put, if we go out and buy the pieces, we're going to have to probably get volunteers to help put the course together, which I think is doable between the trail stewards and other people.
Right.
Noelle?
I would love to see this refurbished. I went there as a kid with my dad back when it was all really nicer. I'd really like to see it back to the original state instead of creating new, like going through a company and getting a package where it's a certain thing that you know, a certain life course. I think it would be better to bring it back to its original state and use what is there as a template, and like those logs that you balance on, maybe just replacing those logs and keeping it the way it is, but fixing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Would be what I would like.
Marilyn?
I think several things happened here at the same time. It's certainly good if Karen, if you were to find out, and I don't know who the person is, the point person to what that looked like originally and who can help her the most, whether that's a Jim Duane or that's yourself. I don't know who that person is. But when you write an application for CPA funds, you can also show the cost would be blank. Some of this could come from Rotary, some of this could come from somewhere else. So you show how it's not just one, getting money from CPC funds totally. And that also helps. You know, who have you reached out to? What else in the community are they willing to help? So that you need a whole big umbrella for this. So there are lots of pieces to put together and still get in on the timeline to put it in for March.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of homework, Karen, but I think it's possible and very doable.
Okay. All right.
So I think maybe a couple of members would like to form a subcommittee and help her on this as far as the planning of it goes. I mean, Noelle has some ideas of what she wants to see. Maybe you would volunteer to help her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
It'd be
Anybody
nice to get
else?
all the rings on that ladder back.
I know, right?
Really hard
Yeah.
to jump from 1 to 4.
It is. Yes, I know. Yeah.
Can I add a couple things, Peter?
Yeah, sure, Carol, go ahead.
So a couple of things that I would throw out for consideration, especially if you're going to kind of follow the old format, is that some of the pieces have really dug into the trees and are not maybe the best way to redo those. You know, there may be a better thing for the health of the trees to not follow that model. Also, there's been discussion with the Walkable Community Group and the Trail Stewards who would like to also see some ADA trail in that property. And I think it might be worth talking with the Disability Committee to see if maybe there could be some kind of ADA station, you know, that there's not just all for able-bodied. That's another thought to throw out. And then I just would say a process that, depending on how much it all does cost, is that the town has to go through certain procurement formats. And so I just throw that out as you need to keep that in mind as you move ahead. But I think it's a great project.
Thank you. And I have talked with Scott Hazelton on disability, and he supports the project as well. So I will mention that to him about a station for that purpose.
Mhm. Well, I think that the bigger thing is that if it could be combined at all with the people who want to see a trail, that would make it like an ADA compliant trail that would get to some of that life course. That would be a nice bigger.
Right. True.
So, yeah. So at this point, I mean, Noel, I'll be happy to serve on the committee with you. Okay. So I guess at this point, we'll have to just get in touch with Karen and go about setting up a meeting. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Makes
you.
sense. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep. Review meeting dates for 2021. Carol?
One second, I just have to grab mine.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe if Matt is listening, if he has any comments, he's the one to put it together. Matt, did you have anything about any concerns with any of the dates?
So much like last year, the green shaded dates are the commission's regular 2nd and 4th. The 2 highlighted yellow dates are potential conflicts. One being Thanksgiving Eve, almost always. And the other was Rosh Hashanah at the beginning of September. So I don't know if it's the commission's pleasure to rearrange those months or just have one meeting those months. Open to suggestions and can provide the dates and deadlines after your guidance.
Well, I'm not worried about Thanksgiving because we'll be able to have 2 meetings in December. So I don't think that's going to be an issue if we just have 1 meeting in November. What do you guys think about the September meeting? Should we try to move it?
We could. It really depends on how busy we are.
Yeah, I know, right.
It's kind of hard to gauge.
It is that far out, right? Well, why don't we just leave it the September thing? He can get rid of that meeting for Thanksgiving Eve, and then later in the year we'll talk about Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
One of the things with September is there are 5 Wednesdays, so we could go to the 3rd and the 5th.
Yep.
And then if we're going to need 2 meetings.
That would work.
Yeah.
You can't have a meeting on the 8th, Peter.
No, I know that, Marilyn. That's why I'm saying. But all I'm saying is we don't have to decide it tonight because it's too far out. All right. Like Eric said, you know, if it's not busy, then it's not going to be a problem to have 1 meeting.
I agree. I'm sorry. I didn't understand.
Okay. No, that's all. I'm following up on what Eric said. So why don't we just leave it that way for now, and we are going to change. We'll take September 8th off and leave the 1 meeting in September and see if we need a second one.
Okay.
For now. Okay. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Request for a certificate of compliance. Luciera Elder Point, 354 Groton Road.
So we're going to postpone any discussion on the 2 certificates of compliance. I did do a site visit at Alder Point this week, and they are getting back to me with a proposed, well, all the plants that they put into the buffer zone did not survive. Between the drought and not being watered, things did not go well. So they are going to come back, and they had proposed originally mountain laurels, which are also sort of slow growing. And I said I would be okay if they put in evergreens, because I did see some euonymus starting to come in, and I thought it might be helpful to have something that shades that out and doesn't let that get a hold. So anyway, they were going to come back to me with a proposal to replace what died. And so we're not quite ready there. However, everything does look really good other than those plants. The natural buffer that exists, other than a couple of euonymus, is still in good shape. They really left the beach just a small area for getting kayaks, in, and the interceptor trench that's in the back of all the units serves as a really good demarcation for kind of where the edge of the landscape is. So once they figure out their plantings, I think they'll be in good shape. And one thing we might think about for the future is we didn't have in the order the ability to bond the plants. So like if they wanted to close out something but leave some money, held back in case the plants didn't survive, especially at this time, late in their project, that might be something to have in place. So that's that on that one. I did sign off on occupancies for them because the only condition that was required that they meet before signing occupancy was just that they had the conservation posts in place and marked, and those are all in place and looked good.
Okay.
Jim has a question.
Jim?
Since the plantings didn't last first time around, is there a need for any more erosion control or anything over the winter? Or is it still there and okay?
Yeah, I said that they could remove everything but at the base of where they're going to have to replant. And that's really behind where the old house had been. So it's really just behind one of the buildings, 2 units. The rest of it can be removed.
Okay, so we're going to skip over these 2.
Okay.
They had done a water sample that had some high levels in fecal coliform, but they think that it was really because there hadn't been any flow much of the summer. So with the more recent rains, they were going to do another sample and hopefully have a good sample there. Everything's been completed, stabilized. They also had some difficulty with their plantings, but one of the things with the seed mix that they used is that it's one of those that the second year might come in with more of some of the natural wildflower plants than the first year. And they did go back in after last winter and they did some replanting. So they've had more time to get things established. So I think that one's coming to a close, but not quite this week, maybe next week. We'll see.
Okay. Minutes from September 23rd.
Okay with me.
We had one comment from Margaret on the Tiki Lounge. I didn't have the LOU, I just had LU or something, a typo.
That's fair.
Just a typo.
No biggie.
All right. Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
All in favor, Eric?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Joelle?
Yes.
And Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, schedule a site visit. We need to schedule the site visit for Hartford Road.
For what?
Hartford Road.
And Colonel Rolls subdivision. We were going to look at the, we've already done an ANRAD, so we already approved the wetland line, but we were going to look at the replication area. And also I would recommend that you look at the crossing, that existing crossing, and also the proposed location crossing. I had raised at the last meeting whether there was alteration of bank. And so I think that needs to be looked at.
So can any of you guys do this like the beginning of next week? Because they're back on our agenda for next Wednesday.
I can do it next week at some point, Peter.
Okay. How about, well, let me check the weather.
Not election day, but other days, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, election day is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. I
How
can't
about
do it.
Monday? Can you guys do
How
it
about
Monday
Monday?
afternoon?
That's great.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I can
Everybody
do
else
it.
can do Monday afternoon?
I can do
can't
it, Peter.
in the afternoon.
What's a good time? It's gonna get dark by 4:30, so maybe 2 o'clock? That work
I
for
won't-
everybody?
I can do that, Peter.
What time?
Noel, I'm sorry, Noel, can you do it?
I can't, no.
You can't. Can you do
I
it
could do
anytime?
earlier. I could do any time before noon on Monday, but I can't do
Okay.
anything after that.
Okay.
I could do it before noon, Peter.
Yeah, I won't be there before noon on Mondays.
Try.
I know.
Do we do it in
Jim,
two sessions on Monday? You know, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, so we're also not quite so crowded?
That's a good idea.
You do that. Yeah,
So
it
Matt and I
depends
are
whether-
both usually in also, so maybe one of us could do one session and one could do the other. Matt, would
That's
that work
fine.
for you?
Okay. You just need, no one's on, right? You're gonna have to check with Mark, Carol.
Yeah, do you want Mark to be there then as well?
Well, it's just, it's private property and I just, usually we have someone that represents the applicant.
Okay, well, I think it would be helpful for him to be there anyway, so he can point out and guide you to the replication areas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what time do you want to say Monday morning and what time do you want to say PM?
What works for you, Noel?
11 would be good on Monday.
I could do that.
Everybody else? Anybody else gonna have to do the afternoon? Or you're gonna do the
Either
morning?
one is fine. Morning or afternoon is fine by me.
Either.
I would
Well,
be
why
the
don't you set it up as 11 and I'll see if I can't change my schedule.
All right.
Monday at
So,
11
Margaret,
o'clock.
could you do it at 11? I didn't hear you.
Oh, me?
No, Margaret.
Margaret?
I'll see if I can get there at 11.
Okay, Margaret, if you can't, let me know and then we'll do the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, afternoon would definitely, I've got a meeting that ends at 11 and I'm leading it, so.
Oh, okay, so yeah. All right, so let's you and I just do it at 2.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right?
I'll do it too also.
You're 2 also, so 3 of us at 2 and 3 of
2
you
of us
at
at 11.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Carol, just confirm with Mark that that's okay.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll get back to you with an email.
Okay,
Awesome.
awesome. Anything else? Marilyn?
I just asked, Carol, didn't you and Margaret go down to the gardens?
Yes.
Did you comment on that tonight or I missed that or no? Are you say anything about that or no?
Sure, I can comment and Margaret, you can add whatever you'd like to. So, we had a couple of people who had commented that they thought there was a lot of farm debris still left in the fields and there was concern for potential impact to wildlife or people who were walking the area. And so what I observed is that there is still down in the fields black plastic in places. But when we were there, the farmer arrived partly through our walk, and she explained that some of the black plastic is a biodegradable plastic, and that those rows that had that, it was her intention to have that tilled in to the ground. And she did have some sort of late season crops. So she had planted squash and had eggplant, tomatoes, and had her intention is to still get it tilled. So that's still in the works. And she also said, other cleanup is in the works. She was still removing some trays that they had and black rolls of black plastic and things like that. The one thing that she's also hoping still to get done, but she couldn't promise it was going to happen, is that she had on another field before she started leasing from us a greenhouse, and that was part of her proposal to put a greenhouse up. And when it was taken down in pieces, you know, there's some doors and there's, you know, lots of metal parts to it. Those are all, in my opinion, it's all fairly orderly. It's all kind of in a long row, except for the doors are kind of to the side and the grass is growing over them. So she didn't, the person that she has paid and hired to build that has not done it yet. And she, you know, her desire is to get that done as soon as possible because it's not helping her by not having it in place because she can't start doing her seeds as early as she wants. And there's an area, so if you go behind the community gardens, directly behind the community gardens, I thought that was an area that she did some more work in this year than she had last year, and she has built up some wooden trellis for the melons that she grows. The loofah melon, I guess is what she was calling it. I may not have the name right. And just beyond that, we saw like a dump, well, and I don't know if it was her or not, but there was an old chair that was in two pieces, like an old office chair. And there was a harrow, or a piece of field equipment. And that, she said, was not hers. It was left there, and she doesn't know if it was the last person, but whoever's done work on the fields for her has said that it's not in good condition, you know, to be used. So I don't know if the other farmer left that. I guess I'm not sure what he had there on the property.
So we really don't know whether all these things will happen, or we just have to wait to see if it fulfills, you know, the promise of the situation that she wanted.
You weren't that clear for me. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm saying, what I'm saying is the concerns that the gardeners had, are they real concerns, or you think that most of it is being handled?
Well, I might let Margaret answer that because she's been the liaison to the ag committee and has heard directly.
I mean, Margaret, do you think that's enough of?
Well, and so I'm hearing two messages. When I started as the liaison last winter, there were a lot of complaints about issues that were use of water and the porta potties that were addressed. At the September meeting, I got very positive responses from the people from the community gardens who are active in the agricultural commission. So I was a little bit surprised by the letter that was sent to Peter. What I think is maybe some of it is she's an early entry farmer, and it sounds like when she came on, she did not yet have the ability to put year one to put the entire parcel under farming. I think she's it's taken her a couple of years to get into it. I know she has had challenges this year like everybody else has. I think it's one of those things that it's improvement in steps. I think what we're also seeing is the difference between what a farm looks like and what a garden looks like, because she's having to do all the work herself or find people to do it, as opposed to the community garden that has the town, you know, they pay the town does the tilling, they get help with setting up the fences. All of that's on her. And, you know, is not an easy job. Farms do not always look pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of that is, I think, the difference between farming and gardening.
Okay, that's a really good distinction too. Okay,
Yeah.
so we wait and see how this plays out.
Yes. You know,
Okay.
and she's early entry. It's not like Farmer Dave, who kind of comes in and he's got a process and he's got all the resources and we pay him.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you. I just needed to have an update.
Yeah.
So Carol, can we draft a response to the letter to Elizabeth and Scott, just to say that we followed up, you've met with her, and just reiterate what we've been discussing?
Yeah, and if you don't mind, I'll share it with Margaret before I send it off, just to
Absolutely.
capture
Yeah,
the.
absolutely. Okay, that'd be
Is that all right,
great.
Margaret? Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, So, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second,
All in favor, Eric,
yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, thanks, guys. We'll see you all, we'll see some of us on Monday.
There you go.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Do we have to sign things tomorrow?
We
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Carol?
1 o'clock.
Yes.
Oh, Carol, I'm not going to be able to do that, Carol.
Okay, Noel, do you, can you come later than 1 or not at all tomorrow afternoon?
I can come 2:30 or 3.
Okay, if you can come at 2:30, that would be better, just because we're trying to get them out as soon as we can after we've got them signed. I don't need your signature. Is that always going to be 1 o'clock to be hard?
No, tomorrow's just
Okay.
a fluke.
Okay, so, yeah, if we can try if you can get there at 2:30, I'll just hold off getting them in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Night.
Okay.
Night.
Bye.
Night.